Yo, what's going on, Brooke? How you doing?
Pretty good. Just getting off work and chilling out in the parking lot so I don't go into my kids banging on the window.
And thanks for taking the time to come on now, because I know I we were going to come on yesterday. And hello to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us. We were going to come on yesterday, but I had a procedure today and wasn't feeling well yesterday because of the prep work. So, uh,
Good times. Good times.
yeah, exactly. So, uh,
Yeah, we try to get these in where we can fit them in these days, with life being busy and being old with doctor's appointments.
you know what? I try to go to the doctors as little as possible, but I feel like I've been there so much this year for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so the show that we have for you today, again, Brooke and I continue to get very similar messages, and we definitely go with that. So the message that we both have been getting this week has been to the healing process that has taken place for on all of us on a large scale across the globe, and how that's like manifesting itself within each of us. All of you, no doubt, are feeling that.
Yeah. And you're seeing it and it doesn't look pretty. We've talked about this before on how, healing is not pretty. So you're looking at your friend or spouse and they look like they're having some trouble. They're facing something. They're looking at something in themselves and they're having to deal with that. But there's a lot of healing going on right now, but it doesn't look all, oh, I'm healing. No, it's more like, oh, I'm healing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yes. Healing is like I mean, it's a beautiful process when it's completed, but
Hmm.
to go through it, it's almost an ugly process. It involves a lot of like in-depth going inside and like figuring out not necessarily what the problem is, but how to overcome it. Because when you focus on the problem, I feel like you kind of stay there. Whereas if you focus more on what you're looking for and what you want, and you move in the direction to align you with that, that I find more success there in that mindset.
Yeah. And the healing's hard too, because what you're facing are the same things that you've been pushing back your entire life, are the
Absolutely.
same things you've been trying to dance away and sing away and laugh away. And, oh, I just want to have fun and, drink away. It's all those things that healing takes you to bring those things up that you've been pushing back for so long, and to face them and let them go, or
Exactly.
deal with them and let them go.
Yep.
But that's, I used to get it seemed like my messages that I would get would kind of change weekly. Like it'd be on to something else, then on to something else. But this healing message has been like consistent for months now. Like no matter what else I've been getting, this has been like the number one key on top of it. Is this is why life looks really hard for a lot of people right now,
Mm.
is because they are digging in our hearts.
Yep.
Our hearts are being turned up.
There is absolutely a shedding going through, and as we say all the time, when we shed, and in order to release some of the density that we feel within us, these healing processes, it has to come to the surface. We have to experience it again and handle it in a new manner with a different sense of love. And that is where the power comes in. That's where our own power comes in, where we handle it differently, and we are a little bit more positive about, a little bit more understanding about it, not dwelling on maybe the occurrence, but maybe focusing more on the healing aspect of it all. But I channeled a message spontaneously yesterday that I really wanted to share with you guys. It's a long one, so bear with me. It's 11 pages long. But so the first one that came through was God, and that his I'll just are you cool if I read this, Brooke?
Absolutely, go for it.
All right, awesome. Now I'll break it up because there were like six different spirits that came through yesterday, including humans. So I'll human spirits, but I'll start it off with the first section, and we'll go from there. Beautiful, we tell you, in the eyes of the beholder. Beauty, I'm sorry, beauty we tell you in the eyes of the beholder. Gracious we are to be in this moment space. God speaking here with you all, allowing for aspects of the Creator to be present with you all as you begin to align with your highest and greatest selves. Your purpose in this lifetime to overcome the true sense of healing that all of you are beginning to feel with more prominence in your life. And that's exactly what Brooke and I were just talking about, how we are all beginning to feel this healing just coming up, like, and sometimes when when it comes up, we might not even recognize it for what it is. Like, we might look at it like, why am I feeling this freaking thing again?
Yeah,
Why am I feeling these sensations? I've been through all of that already. Why do I feel it again? But it's because there's still a level at which we need to heal from and handle it in this new light. And please forgive me because my head is pounding right now.
I
Um,
took Motrin.
I need to. I really do. So that was the first chat. First, so okay. So he says, and that's the prominent in your life, and this we tell you are aspects of truth. We have asked. We have, yes, asked Christopher the channel for us at this time for the intentions of bringing information to you. Something that many of you are feeling in this realm at this time, because there is a shift that is occurring in this realm that is so powerful, and its effect on how and what people are feeling. Your healing aspects are very important to not only yourselves, as you know, but to many others in this realm. And the importance which it holds in your life is one of alignment with your true purpose and your being in this lifetime. We ask you to be still in the mind and allow these developments to occur more naturally, and resist the option of being resistant to it, for it will allow a greater sense of peace. So allow it to come in more peacefully, accept it for what it is, showing you, it keeps repeating for a reason. So be aware of that. The tremendous shift that occurs, energetically speaking, that is, within the soul as a result of the healing process that you are all working through, is one of tremendous clearing and cleansing in the soul's aspect. And then at this moment in time, I see, and I've seen this vision before, an orb, a golden white orb with four lines coming off of it. I saw that again at that moment. This is what we are deliberately relaying to Christopher, for this is soul, the aspect of the soul and the growth that which occurs from the cleansing of the physical. The cleansing of the physical will allow the soul to allow more light to it, as well as the physical body. And that is why we are bringing bringing a sense so much, why you are beginning to sense so much shift and desire to change and heal. That's what he's saying. So, or she, whatever. Um, and we tell you now, we are grateful. God speaking, still God. It is, it is, sorry, I was trying to type it all as I was listening to it yesterday after I recorded it. It is an opportunity for you to speak directly with the creator, and the confusion that comes with such communication from so many on this realm. So what he's saying here is, he understands that communication with God, a lot of people feel is like, what, is that even possible? That's what he's talking about now. Uh, he's saying we understand that confusion, but we tell you now, it is true. Your ability to communicate with the creator and your ability to communicate with us is also equally as true. The conscious level at which, this is where he's telling you guys how to do this, the conscious level at which is needed to attain such information is possible on this realm, and you are capable of achieving it. Also, and he's talking about the collective, he's not just talking about me.
Yeah,
Also, should you so choose to allow this healing to occur in the manifesting way that it is, will allow you an even greater opportunity to not only connect with this conscious level, the God conscious level, but to enable it to be a part of who you are in the physical. And that we tell you is part of the ascension process. To allow the heart to begin to overtake the ego mind, the veil, to allow the veil to be slipped away, and for the heart to be an actual huge presence within your mind is ultimately where the ascension process occurs, begins. In this aspect of the mind being cleared of its ego mind and allowing for the heart space, which is where we lie, to be more prevalent, prominent in thought process, to wipe away the ego and allow lower vibrational aspects and to allow for the love to truly be the guiding force in all that you do. So basically, what he's saying there is allow the heart and all the love and joy and gratitude that it has within it, because that's where they lie, to be more prominent in the mind and allow the ego and all of its negativity and judgments to slip away. And he goes, that will provide you with an even greater opportunity to connect with the creator consciousness and his
Yeah.
and their communication. That's what he's basically saying there. Next one is, and I apologize too, because I was trying to type it so fast that, I missed commas, periods, to help break up the message a little bit. So that's why I struggle at times here. So bear with. Yes, this is what we bring forth to you and are so grateful for the wings of the hawk that carry upon the community. No, sorry, this is one of those moments. And and are yes, that's what we bring forward to you, and are so grateful for the wings of the hawk carry us greatly upon the communications that we bring so much to this realm. Basically, what he's saying here is the hawks, that's my spirit animal, and that's what I use to really leverage the power of the hawk to really get a lot of the communication that I get. That's what he's talking about now. The hawk is a beautiful aspect of our communication to those, this is very important here, to those that are willing to see above their own perspective. And for this we are grateful. So look from a different higher perspective, and that's what I use to look. That's how I use the hawk. I'll try to view situations from the hawk's perspective, which is higher and can see a little bit more than a lot more than we can. And at this moment in the session, I can actually see a hawk.
Oh.
For yes, there is an aspect of energetic transference that is occurring with you, Christopher, at this animal. This spiritual animal that is carrying so many messages from beyond into this realm, into those that are willing to, as we have indicated, look above, to look from higher perspective and to see the heavens and to view earth from the heavenly realm so that you too may see all the beauty that lies within this realm and dwell upon the lower vibrational aspects of this realm that are so prevalent within it. We tell you this now. This is not where the answers lie, my children. So what he's saying there is as you're looking onto this realm, look from the heavens and see all the beauty that it holds. And then he says, and dwell upon the low vibrational aspects of this realm that are so prevalent within it. This is where he says don't do that, because that is obviously not offering you the best point of view.
Yeah, because there's so much going on right now of little things everywhere trying so hard to cause division. And when you're down here and you're in that, you're going to be in division. No matter where you turn or where you look, there is some controversy going on right now. And
Mhm.
that's why I said, like, I have been, like, I don't feel like I'm in that. I feel like I'm an observer of it.
Exactly.
It's like I'm on the outside and I'm looking, and I'm just like, wow, that really has her like upset. Like, wow, and that really, this is really dividing them. You know what I mean? Like, they're really allowing this to, and there's times I am able to help and like shed light and go, do you guys just realize that you two coworkers who are pretty good friends just, do you guys realize what that just was right there? I
Mm.
was like, it was just a vision. It didn't. And they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you're letting that game get you. It's like, I've been calling it like just the game. I'm like, you just let it get you. So now like everybody works like, oh, here comes Brooke. It's, don't let it get us, because I call people out now. I'm like, oh my God, you fell for it. You fell for the trap. I've been calling it the trap, but it's like when you're not living in that, it's so much nicer. Like I know that we all want somebody else to understand our point, or I'm telling you, if it's causing division, there's no right side. you know?
Yo, absolutely, Brooke. That's huge, man. Yeah, absolutely correct. You are so right. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
And hey, I find myself having moments of like getting razzed. You know what I mean? Because I'll hear two people talking, and there's a side to me that does agree with one side over the other, and I'll feel that negativity start drawing me in, and I go, it's a trap. And then I feel so much better when I pull myself out and take a deep breath and go, oh, I'm so glad I did not engage in that.
That's
And like
beautiful.
I almost fell for the trap, but I pulled myself out and I go back to being happy again.
That's so beautiful.
But I still have to, I think we all are where we have to keep pulling ourselves out. So when
Mm,
you realize you're getting pulled in, when you realize that ego is getting ready to jump you over into something, pull back,
yep.
pull
Yeah.
back.
It's what we always say. It starts with awareness. You have
Mm-hmm.
to be aware of those moments and then make those choices. Be in the ego mind of engaging, or being in the heart space of, hey, you can be right all you want. It doesn't matter. So
Yeah. And that's why you have to be careful too, because like you just said it, awareness. And some of us are so much more aware than others.
mhm,
There are people walking this life right now that to teach them certain things would be like trying to teach an infant to run. You
exactly.
know what I mean? And so that's why else you want to be careful not getting caught up, because this person may still be on their journey and figuring things out. And there's nothing that you can possibly say that's going to change their mind
Mhm,
or make them think any differently. Some people are able to listen, but within a couple of words, you can kind of get that feeling whether their awareness is there or not.
mhm.
And not everybody's awareness is there. But if you are aware enough to go, this is negative, I don't want to engage. If you're that aware, pull out.
Yep. Exactly. And what God is saying here is we all can leverage the spirit of the hawk to allow us that perspective to see from a higher level.
Hmm.
And it will, like, and Brooke's point there, I feel, is so huge, that when you disengage and you're not really involved with that, and you just allow someone to, okay, whatever, be right, it's fine. There is such a peace there, by you
Hmm.
disengaging there. I feel like it's so powerful. It's such a powerful moment.
Yeah.
All right. Still continuing on with God. I'll stop at the end of God though. And then we can, discuss a little bit more if we need, and then move on. To look from the higher perspective and to see the heavens, to view earth from oh, that's, we've read that. But loving. Okay, to be and view this realm with such beauty as we do, my children. It's where he's talking about how he's telling this right now. He's saying to look at this realm, with the beauty that we do from the heavenly realms. And yes, we do say all the density that lies within this realm, but we understand from the soul's perspective, as we look upon you all, how the souls are attempting to overcome this density and to be more one with the light, as you are all doing, and offering so much more light to this realm. We tell you now, this is the view at which we bring through the hawk, eagle, and many others that roam this dimensional realm. Talking about animals there. There is beauty in every aspect, in every occurrence that occurs within this realm, my children. This we tell you is absolute. That's huge, that statement that he just made there, or she just made there. There is beauty in every aspect. Hold on to that. True light is everywhere. There is no sense corner without it. And we tell you now, growth comes from the opportunity to view the light in spite of the density that is so felt, as we are doing, and bring you this light and this opportunity through communication. We do this now. There is love always, my children, and we are so grateful for these opportunities to communicate with you. God, the creator, speaking. And yes, communication is readily available to all that are willing to seek and view from higher perspective, the heavenly the heavenly's perspective, to see the light in all occurrences and all beings. For that, we are so beautifully grateful. And as you begin to heal and allow this healing process to manifest itself as it will, we tell you now we are grateful. For it is in much growth will occur from these opportunities, and the light at which you are going to bring forth to this realm is powerful, immense in power, and for that we are also equally as grateful. We tell you also that as a result of your healing process that you are about to indulge in is going to bring you even closer to the heavenly realm and all of its glory, all of its power, and the light that which is brought forward to you through these healing processes is going to be felt slash manifested within you. So heaven is going to be available to you as you go through these healing processes and begin to shift um your the density that was held on to and allow more light in. You're going to feel heaven in that.
That
This
sounds good to me.
I know,
I'm
right?
ready for some of that.
I
But
completely
I will say, like, I do feel like I do get to experience some of that now. It's like, and that's, when I used to wonder about the biggest difference between, 3D or 5D, I look around at some of my friends who have a really hard time in understanding why certain things are happening to them or why certain things happen in their life, to where I've had the ability for a while now to have an understanding of everything, whether it was, an animal passing or somebody being hurt or something that seems tragic. I I've always been gifted with the way of to see the other side of that and to see why that happened and to find the beauty in things that other people may find tragic. But it just gives you not as a scary perspective at life when you're able to do that. Like, I do feel like I see things from more of a fifth dimension.
Mhm.
And I see some of my friends really struggling, with life, where I'm like, wow, like I kept waiting to see something different or do something different. But it's like, I realize that I'm not struggling in the same way they are.
Mhm.
And so that's what tells me that just in the conscious level that I am somewhere else,
Yep.
you
Well,
know?
well, yeah, when you approach things with that different perspective of, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I heal from this? You know,
Hmm.
there's so much power there. And yeah, that does allow for us to rise in vibration. That's
Yeah.
that's huge, huge. That's what basically that is what he is saying or she is saying, God is saying in this, is that very thing that you just said.
Yeah. I think my only heartache in this world right now
Mhm.
is me looking around, wishing everybody didn't have to go through what they're going through right now. Like, but I know they have to.
Exactly. Yes.
It's like I know they have to, but
Yep.
it's literally my only heartache is seeing people struggling with this healing process. And I sort of go like to their forehead and go, oh, just healed. Yes. Like, just
Yeah.
that's pretty much my only struggle right now in this life is watching everybody else struggle with the healing.
Yep. Well, yeah, because yeah, I'm with you. I agree. So yeah.
And I can only imagine if I feel like, God, I just want to help them. Like, I know that God and all of our guides are doing the same thing. Like, oh, can I just go in there and just squeeze and hug it out of them? You know, but we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to
Bam.
do it.
Yes. Yes. You
But
nailed
believe me, I know they're up there going, oh, can I just hug it out of them? But
it.
the work wouldn't be done if they did.
Exactly. Yeah. The step can only be taken by you. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. So true. Good point. All right, almost done. And this and then we'll change it up too. I won't read it like this for now on. I apologize about that too, guys, because I don't like reading anyway. But to you guys, I mean, this manifestation of the heavenly realm within your heart, even more so than what you feel, is going to allow you to allow to have the heavenly realms begin to interact literally through you, he says. She says, to have their presence not only with you and be felt, but to begin to manifest their communications through you. So, what they're saying is through that healing process and the raising of your vibrations, the heavenly realm is actually going to begin to as you are communicating, just like Brooke does. Like she'll be talking and then she'll just start getting communication in the midst of her talking. That's basically what they're saying there. That the
And
heaven.
I'm sure everybody experiences this on
Yep.
some level. Like, think
Exactly.
about everybody watching right now. Think about those times that somebody's come to you for help or advice, and you kind of leave that conversation going, I didn't know I knew that.
Hmm.
Wow, where did I get that great advice from? You know,
Nope.
and it was your higher self and them speaking through you for you to be the vessel helping the other person for what they needed to hear at the time.
Exactly.
But believe me, I think we've all definitely been used in one way or another, especially in helping somebody else.
Totally. And that's only going to increase.
Hmm.
You will be provided this opportunity, basically that opportunity for them to work through you as you go forward and allow the intuitive nudges that you feel to truly be your guiding force. You will find these gifts begin to occur, and we are so grateful for it. So, guys, what we have to understand here is that the heavenly realm, this veil is thinning so much more. And so many more people are beginning to realize that there is something else here. I'm being called to do something else. I need to heal something. I feel something. I mean, you guys know it. You know what we're talking about here. And it is any kind of resistance to those, like, oh, I feel the need to like go to water, or I think we were talking about this before, go to water, or get a new job, or quit this job, or do something that, like, I'm helping people. I really feel the call. If you resist that continuously, it's you're not being placed on your right path. You're simply ignoring your intuition, which is their communication. It's their first level of communication with us. And it's the most powerful one really that we have, is that intuition. So
Yeah, and you've been bringing that up a lot lately, and then throughout this week, that's what I've been getting is listen to Chris, the intuition, and that is huge because we all have it. We all have all of this.
exactly.
It's the level of awareness and accessing it, but we all have it. But
Ex-
yes, the intuition is your number one. Only time I guess I get myself in trouble is when I'm being impulsive. If I just hold off a second and ask myself, you can get an answer, you
Yep.
know? But sometimes I just don't give it time. I just dive right in impulsively on things.
You are absolutely right, because a lot of people do come and say, okay, well, I feel this, but like, I just had a woman come to me the other day, and she was saying, well, okay, I feel a nudge in all these different directions.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, you're thinking too much. You are being called to one direction.
Yeah.
But what you have to begin to understand is, so the intuition is one thing. Where is that pushing you? Where is that pushing? And at the end of the session, we did kind of figure out, all right, this was the one direction that they were looking for her to go. But what was being held on to is too much of the thought, like too much question, too many doubts. And Brooke is so
Yeah.
right. When you do step back, the continuation of the same message is really what it is. The continuation of the feeling of the one direction is really where it's at. So if you can take a moment and, okay, I feel this nudge that just say I should be around water. I feel this nudge. Let me sit with it for a few days. It'll keep coming up. And the more
Hmm.
you feel it, that is absolutely an indication that, okay, this is definitely something that I should do.
Hmm.
And we've discussed that a couple podcasts ago. Like, your best guide is you. And
Yeah.
not you, but your guides. Your team,
Yeah.
they are your best guides. And the alignment that is needed to really be with them and allow for their guidance to come is trust. Trust in your intuition. That is numero uno. Do that, and then other stuff starts to happen. But
Yeah.
you can't be in and out. It can't be like, okay, well, I do fully trust in my tuition, but then when you feel it, when you feel the nudge to like move, you're like, oh, but I'm too scared to move. That you're half in and half out. You
Or
gotta know what's
the other thing we do is we start talking to friends and family members until we find the
going
person that agrees with us.
on. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you won't always find the person that agrees with you.
Exactly. In fact,
Because,
depending on the family you have, they could be discouraging you. "No, no, 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 don't do that. What are you, crazy? You're gonna be
yeah,
11,000 miles away from us. What would make you do that?"
I will tell you that there's a positive chance if God is moving you, other people who are living in man's world and man's rules are definitely not going to be in great. You will sound crazy to them.
Exactly. Yep.
Every idea I have, regular societal human beings are like, oh, you can't do that. Yo, you must do this. You must do that. You must. I'm like, who says?
Yep.
So
Yep.
chances are you will have a hard time finding somebody else, but nobody else may trust your journey. You've got to trust it,
Exactly.
or
You
you will keep being uncomfortable.
Yes. And then I'll give you an example, guys. I'll use me as an example here because I have been feeling for a couple years now that I'm like, I know you guys are telling me I need to go vegan. I've been saying it on here forever. And no kidding, I have been resistant to it. I've tried it and then I went away from it. And this week I've had two issues, which is why I had the procedure today. Two issues that manifested themselves physically in me, like hurting me. And now it's not them hurting me, but it's me resisting that nudge that manifested itself physically. And now I really don't have any other options. I have to almost go in the direction of not necessarily being vegan, but really watching what I eat, changing my lifestyle. Not that I'm even that bad, but yeah,
Cookies.
it's not a, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, right. It's
Thank goodness that is not my journey. They're just trying to get me to drink more water. That's
oh,
all.
yeah.
That's where we're at. I'm after they need me to drink more water level. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, and that
Uh,
and it's like, yeah, so I can't deny it anymore. I have to, like, step in the, "Okay, I gotta just go do this," and, yo,
yeah,
it sucks. It's not easy, and it's not
yeah,
even something that I want, but what I do want more is to feel that presence of God within me more, presence of heaven, presence of the light more within me, because I wanna be more of service to you guys, and I know that the only way for me to do that is to continue to better myself and to align with my path. And that's my path. So I'm going on it. So I'll keep you
yeah.
posted.
Amen. Good job.
Yeah.
Better you than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I say our journeys and what they call each of us to do can be so individual.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, you'll have somebody going, well, I'm a vegan, so everybody must be vegan. Like, good
Mhm,
for you.
mhm.
That's your calling. I'm just gonna drink some water right now, which I
Yeah.
haven't done. I don't, like I said, I don't drink anything but coffee. So I'll let you know when it gets like 2 bottles of water a day. And that would be something. Everybody has to walk around work with their big jugs. There's big jugs like drink this much by 7,
Oh,
this
yeah.
much by 9. And you say, I'm like, I would die if I drank all that. My body would go into shock if I drank that much water in a day. It wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, it needs a little training, but I think you
Yeah.
can do it. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah. But I do need to start the water training. Because I've been with, I don't know if you've noticed, but like when energies come in, you get real thirsty. Like
Yes.
the last 2 weeks, I think something big came in about 2 weeks ago. Like I knew they're coming in waves, but every time I think one is going out, I feel like another one just booms in.
Yep.
But I felt like there was one about 2 weeks ago that I've just been so parched.
Yep.
You would think I would be drinking water by now.
Interesting. Because
Yeah,
I've been feeling that as well. And honestly, I drink almost a gallon of water a day. uh,
yeah,
to help me allow for more light to come in. I do that on purpose. So that's
hmm,
interesting. I felt that. That's it.
yeah,
That's weird. Okay. So but yeah, so guys, that yeah, we have to, no more of this like, okay, I feel it, but that's like half in, half out. And I cannot stress to you guys enough. And I tell you this because as someone that has done it, and I know I don't tell you this as someone that hasn't gone through this process. I know some of these things that they tell you to do or that you feel that you should do are not, they don't, they make you feel uncomfortable because you're like, oh my God, how am I going to be able to make it? How am I going to be able to pay my bills? How am I going to be able to do this? when you fully trust and know within your heart that it will be okay. I am telling you it is, because they really do have your back. And you guys know I quit my job and I was the primary breadwinner of my family, and I am making pennies now, but it's working. It's
Yeah.
and you can do it. I'm just make sure you are in the full alignment, and listening to the nudges as they come in, and spending some time with them. The nudge that they want you to go on will continue to repeat itself.
Yeah. And like I said, with each of our journeys being different, we always use the jobs as a big example. We always use moving as a big example, and I usually have a hard time trying to think of other things. But some things that I felt were a calling that I have done that other people have never agreed with were taking my son out of school when
Mm.
he was in 11th grade, just started his 11th grade year. And oh, believe me, talk about grandparents that wanted to see their baby in a cap and gown, and they wanted him to be fighting for colleges like everybody else was. And the disappointment, and I mean, even in my own husband and my own spouse did not agree with me, but everything in my heart knew that this was the right thing to do. And I have no regrets. It's been 2 years.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a hard year and a half of family members being very mad at me, still throwing up in my face, still saying things to me. But in my heart of hearts, me and my son are both at peace with it.
Mhm.
And we like where we came to with it, and my younger two kids, they're being homeschooled this year. And when I say homeschool, I kind of mean unschooled. We're not doing a whole lot. Okay. No regrets. Every once in a while, the society talk gets to me. And then I think, oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. And it comes right back to this piece within me going, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine and they're fine.
Mhm.
And I know if I do decide to send them back next year, which I may, I feel like they're going to be in a good place mentally because they've been going through all this stress. They don't know anything's going on. I have kids that are so stressed out right now. When you're stressed mentally, it's hard for you to learn.
Yep.
My kids are going to be open if and when they do go back next year. They've had a year of being open and stress free. Their minds are going to be ready to learn,
Yep.
but like I said, I don't even expect anybody listening to this podcast to agree with my reasoning of pulling my kids from school and doing nothing but having fun most days and having little verbal lessons and a few math sheets here and there. I don't expect anybody, but like I know in my heart of hearts, it's so right because I have so much peace when I sit with it.
Mhm.
When I start listening to society and friends going, I can't believe that I have teachers telling me things and other people, for a moment, I start to go, oh my God, what am I doing? And then as soon as I'm like, nope, nope, I'm doing the right thing. Like
Yeah.
I just feel it, for me, for my journey. I don't expect you guys to all go pull your kids out of school or maybe I want to get an RV.
Yeah. Don't talk to me about that. I want that so bad.
Hit the road with them.
I really do. I want that so bad.
Well,
Um,
that's
good.
and that's with all of the stuff going on with us healing. We've talked about before the things that are going to crumble and break down.
Yep.
And it is, the government system is already fraying. The banking systems are fraying. The school systems are broken and fraying. So these things are going to keep going and going and going until they crumble and are either rebuilt in a certain way or just done with altogether eventually. Who knows?
Yep. Yep. I'm
But
with
there's a lot of these kids. That's a whole other topic, but we do have to get to because I don't speak my truth a lot on this podcast, but my truth has to do with the kids and the
Oh,
why
really?
they're here and
Why?
them being our future. And we do need to do a podcast on like the kids today and how they are going to change things.
Well, shoot. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brooke. You're always welcome to.
No, we've talked about this before. We've just never gone there. You know
Mm,
what I mean? But we
yeah.
keep talking about it. We just haven't gone there. But like just the other day, it just hit me again. It's just like, girl, you gotta speak your truth. Like you know why these kids are doing the things they're doing right now. You know what they're here for. You know what I mean?
Well, let's change. Let's switch this up. What do you got?
No, just the simple fact of like I'm talking about like the way I pulled my kids out of school and the way that schools right now and me being a behavior interventionist, So I get the kids that are naughty in class, can't focus in class,
Mhm.
some other issues. All of these kids that I'm getting as the behavior children, by time 2 minutes into my office, they are telling me mind blowing stuff. Just like, no, they don't care about math. They don't care about reading.
Mhm.
They don't care. Their thoughts are so much like already on like the next level. Like some of these kids, like, yeah, they look like they're little naughty rebels
Mhm.
because they're not fitting in our idea of what we consider how society is supposed to be run with these lovely obeying children in schools. And but these kids come to me and like, I mean, a fourth grader just saying, do rabbits build things? Well, sure, rabbits build things. Do they charge other people for the stuff they build? Do they, and you see where they're getting to. And
Mhm.
these are fourth graders with these understandings of they already know that this world is not what they're supposed to be living in,
Mhm.
and they're here to change it.
Yep.
It's like these are little babies that are saying these things. And so that's why school's going to keep getting harder and harder and harder for teachers because more and more of my little rebels are going to start coming in and shaking things up towards me. You're going to have to change. Things are going to have to change. School systems are going to have to change. Classes are going to have to change because
Mhm.
there's a whole lot more going on in their heads than math and
Uh,
English.
Absolutely. I can attest to that. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I work in a school and I'll tell you, I completely, you are 100% right. I work with these kids. I had a kid last year. I don't know if I ever told the story on here. He is exactly a child like you would get, who had a
Hmm.
behavioral problem. I worked with him for a week and he comes to me at the end of the week. I did a lot of light work on him because he was having some issues. Did a lot of light work on him. He comes to me at the end of the week and he goes, "Hey, I see you at night." And I'm like, "What are you talking about, man?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, I know what you sleep in." He goes, I know the highway that you take. You take one highway to get to work. I know what one that is." And he goes, "I know that you snore." I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He goes, "I seriously see you at night. And I have a friend that comes with me. And
Yeah.
we've seen you." This dude, he's I think he's 9 years old last year.
Hmm.
This kid is astro traveling at night and telling me about it, consciously aware of his travel and is talking to me. And I'll tell you this, he had behaviorals every single day last year up until the week that I started working with him and was sending him light.
Hmm.
That light that I worked with him, he had not one behavior issue, not one. He was on green every single day. Whereas prior to that week, he would come off the bus and have a behavioral issue.
Yeah.
But then yeah. So they and that's just one of many more stories that I have about these kids.
Oh, that's why I said, like, you really don't want to get me started because I could go on forever on these different cases of the kids and what you hear a lot of adults say going, "Oh God, these kids are going to be the ones that run our." Yes, these kids are going to be the ones that change things, that flip this world upside down to make it the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Even down to the ones that people are calling lazy. I feel like God did not create us to come here and work 40 to 70 hours a week
Ex-
just to pay a bill, just to do this. We were not created for this. This
no,
is not what we were created to do. And
exactly.
so when you guys are like, oh, these lazy teens today, those lazy teens are going to change it all for us because those lazy teens were programmed this way to come here to flip this around. They're going to get us out of the rat race.
Oh,
This is one big, fat, ugly rat race, and they are going to get us out of it.
you are so right. And I'll tell you this. This is part of that higher perspective too. When you like millennials have come into the workforce now, are starting to come into the workforce, and they're like, yeah, I want to work from home. I don't want to work the 40 hours. Like we're already starting to see that, where they're coming in with a little bit more of a rebellious spirit because they're like they feel that. Um, I will tell you, at first, a lot of us. old timers are like, whoa, why we don't, what they're coming in here and we interpret them as being lazy. And really, Brooke, you are so right in that they are here to change some stuff. So when you step back and you look at it and you're like, wait a second, I'm now working from home. This is prior to COVID. I'm now working from home, or at least have an ability in some instances, in some companies, to work from home. There's a little bit more leniency there. Like, these companies are beginning to understand there is a shift of people who are coming into this realm, and we aren't meant to do that, to like slave 40 hours only to come home to a house that we're paying $1 million for spending a couple hours to go to sleep and wake up and do it again. That
Yeah.
is not what we're here to do. You are so right. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
go with it.
There's yeah, yeah, there's I mean, I'm saying there's no way we were created to do that. And
No.
like and there's a lot of people that are still very within the society that when they hear me say these things, you're like, "Look, you're crazy. You think these kids are here to save us?" Absolutely, I do. But they were born these in the time of the energy that these kids have came in, especially our 12 and unders. They already came in with more consciousness than a lot of us. They
Oh,
already know what's up. But here's the thing, it's doesn't mean life's easy for them. It's actually very, very hard for them because right now they have all of society against them and they don't understand yet what they're here for. They
yeah.
don't understand. They're thinking like I said, my whole life I thought, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Because I wasn't like everybody else.
Yep.
And it wasn't until a few years ago I finally went, oh, it's not what's wrong with me. It's what's right with me
Exactly.
is why I'm not like, or that I don't think like other people.
Mhm.
So, like I said, life is not easy for these kids right now that are here for a rebellious purpose and with a higher purpose because they don't know what's wrong with them because all the world's against them right now.
Yep.
They'll grow into it because there's more of them. Like I feel like each generation there's just a little sprinkling of us to make it through, but they're going to have each other because there's so many of them now that are fighting this system, whether they don't even realize they're fighting the system yet. But I see it. I see it so clearly.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you right now. I am getting so many correspondence from people with young kids who are and I'm not saying, the 2 to 5 year olds. I'm not saying them because we all
Right.
know that 2 to 5 year old kids typically do see spirit. Those, oh, I see
Yeah.
them pop in the corner. That's common. I am getting 11, 13, 14, 18-year-old kids who are like, yo, I am seeing stuff. I am feeling things. I I have a little cousin who will call me up and tell me about conversations he's had with like interdimensional beings. So I'm just like, how what? Uh, what is going on here? And we'll just start talking, and he hits me with such enlightening information. It is amazing. And the only thing that I can hope for from all of our listeners is that you guys begin to understand that these kids are coming in with such abilities, and we really can't deny it much longer because they're too
Yeah.
powerful.
And a theory that just wouldn't leave me even starting years ago with that is that our generation, as much as we say we're ready to see something, or well, I mean, you do see stuff, I don't. So I guess you're kind of used to it by now.
Yeah.
But as much as some of us think we're ready to see something else or do something else, really for your brain to comprehend that, like it's it's a lot. So I really feel that these kids are already getting glimpses and already seeing to where by the time they're our age, it would be nothing for interdimensional beings to be here living with us and amongst us and helping us out kind of in person instead of from above. And that's where I feel like with this younger generation, I feel like that's the world that they're headed to live in,
uh
is a world where, angelic beings and guides and them all live together with all the help
yep.
they need.
Yep.
And they're just getting used to, for them it's gonna be nothing because they all see stuff. You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yes, they do.
I thought it was just my daughter, then I thought it was just my son, and she comes home from school and she's like, well, no, Sally sees this and Johnny does this and this one does that. And I'm like, oh, y'all are just gonna be cool when the spaceships start landing then, right?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, yeah, no more are we gonna be buying into these theories that Hollywood hits us with, that, like, aliens are not good, you know? Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a polarity to everything, all energy, but there are some really good out there that are trying to help us, and I don't mean to get into that, but, um
We're all over the place today. That's okay. My brain is like, oh, talk about brain frog. I had brain frog all day.
I don't know what that is.
Brain fog, but I
Oh,
couldn't even say
fog.
that. Brain fog, but I couldn't say it right earlier. I kept saying I had brain frog. That's how bad my brain was. So I've had brain fog all day.
Oh, gotcha, yeah, I thought you said frog, I'm like, "Wait a second, what is that?"
Yeah, I
Mm.
said frog,
Oh, okay, okay.
but I meant fog. So I've
Oh, I
been
got you.
saying that's how bad the brain is today.
Well, bear with us, people. I hope you don't mind the
But this is what I'm like. I'm seeing this every. You know what I mean? It's like I work with a lot of people on a daily basis, and that's my thing. I watch people. I can't help it. I watch people. I study people. I love behaviors. It's just what I do. So that's what I know when stuff is going down
Mhm,
because I see the collective. You know, I'm
mhm.
literally watching them every day,
Yep.
and like now they almost report to me daily. Now they're like, "How are you feeling today?" Because I'm
Mhm.
feeling like this, and then somebody else will come report to me. I'm like, well, apparently we're all feeling like that today. So there is something going on.
Yes.
But a
Well,
lot of people are feeling very foggy today.
yeah, and I'll tell you, there are some powerful kids out there, powerful. Just last week, you guys know we did that podcast about transcendent masters a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I channeled for an 18-year-old kid last week, and I I I could not believe the things that they were saying to this young girl and her abilities. And now I don't know, I didn't know anything about her, and her mom is the one that offered the session up for us. And it yeah, I mean, a powerful individual, but so many kids are coming in. Now, she's one of the most powerful kids I've ever channeled for,
Mm-hmm.
but there are so many more that have these abilities, so, yeah, and
Yeah.
what was my point there, though? Oh, I can only hope that we, as a society, begin to recognize these kids for what they are and truly the beauty that they hold within them, and allow them to be who they're meant to be.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's gonna happen regardless, but it'll happen
Right.
more peacefully if we guide them and support them. Luckily, I am seeing parents do that, though. Now,
Yes.
on a number of occasions, there are still some that aren't, but a lot that are,
We're never going to have 100% on board.
of course.
It'll never happen. It
Yep.
doesn't, you will never have 100% on board. But yes, you are seeing more parents letting their kids be who they want to be without the, oh, you must do this. Oh, mommy wore a tutu. You're going to wear a tutu. Oh, daddy played football. You're going to play football.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, less programming. I do believe we're letting these kids be, but yeah, they need support. And I believe that's, you know, there's people generation before me. There were a few of the weird ones, but there were so few of them there to guide us, our generation.
Yep.
And so I feel like I'm here now to help people understand these kids and go, no, they're not just bad. They're
Yep.
not just being rebellious. They're not, it's their purpose. They're not here for academics. I'm sorry, schools,
Mhm.
they don't care about your academics. What they do care about is how people treat each other.
Yep.
They care deeply about that. And I mean, and sometimes we come off like the opposite. We'll be being nasty, but really we're being nasty because we're so upset on how nasty people are being to somebody else.
Mhm.
And that's the kids. I mean, the kids I get are the ones that by the time they talk to me, they're like, thank you, Miss Mathis. Have a great day, Miss Mathis. It was wonderful talking to you, to where my goody kids, I don't ever get a genuine that out of them. When it's
Mhm.
coming from my kids, that it's genuine,
Yeah.
and they don't even know why they're frustrated. They don't know that they're frustrated because they know that an older person was not supposed to condescend them the way they just did.
Mhm.
They know deep down that that kid was not should not have said that to the other kid because it was hurtful. These kids know what's going on, and even I'm seeing it happen so rapidly. I've only been in the school for like 6 years, and the batch of kids 6 years ago
Mhm.
and to the batch of kids I had last year and to the new ones that are coming in this year, it's completely different. It is so crazy.
Hmm.
Even a class last year, I would have a kid go kind of say something for attention, like, "Oh, I just want to go home and hurt myself," and the other kids would be like, "What's wrong with you? What's you? Why did you say that?" That would be a class a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
This year, I had a class with a kid like that. The whole class turned and looked at him and was like, "Oh, Johnny, don't say that. Like, you want to talk to us about it? You want to, like," I mean, I was just like, because the thing that he said, I was getting ready to think I had to pull him out of class to keep the class from getting upset with him. But the whole class all at once turned to him in like compassion and
Wow.
was like ready to help him through his problem. And I'm like, I've never seen this before, not out of a whole class. This is crazy. They're, these kids are changing so rapidly and so awesomely. But like I said, we still don't, a lot of people still don't understand it because God's world looks a whole lot different than man's world.
Yeah.
And that is, everybody just keeps has this man's world vision in their head. And God's world is going to look completely different.
And that's where we need to come from, that higher perspective, as God was saying, from the hawk,
Yeah.
and to view from the heavenly perspective and know that there's beauty everywhere, and we just have to be open to it. Yeah. So I get you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So do you
All right.
want me to? Oh, do you want me to?
No, go ahead.
All
No,
right.
I feel like I'm just on one of my rambling tangents now. So I'm just going to zip it.
Yeah. No, no, you're good. I am going to, actually, we're pretty late already, and there's still so much to go. So what we could do is man, all right. Well, all right. So the next one though, let me just tell, so Enoch came in next. I'll finish up God real quick and then go. The next ones are really quick. So God finishes up with, "Go in peace, my children, be one with your heart space and allow for it to rise into the veil, ego mind, and allow for the ego mind to be cleared of all of its dwellings of low vibration, and allow for the love to be the ultimate guide, and you will find these gifts, your energy, your heavenly realm within you. And I am always grateful. Thank you. Go in peace." So that's an important message, obviously. Enoch comes in next, and he's saying that we are presenting this moment to you for clarification. And clarification, he says, in the healing process. And he says that the light, aspects of the light are very prominent in this realm. And this is interesting because he uses an analogy of a lightning bolt. So he says the lightning bolt is cast upon this realm very clearly and indulgently. That's his words. And he goes, indulgently, these are visions of light that are cast upon this realm to offer greater assistance to all of you. He's talking about a lightning bolt here. Amazing. So he says he wants us, he poses this, because you know how we were talking about the hawk, and the hawk, we use the hawk, the energy of the hawk, to get the higher perspective. He's
Right.
basically saying now to use the energy of a lightning bolt, to hold the lightning bolt in your heart as a way of manifesting more light within you, to allow that to be an energy transference, a transference of energy, and allow that energy to start to generate within you. He says, "We tell you now that the lightning in the sky is an aspect of our creation, and that the generating energy from it is also capable of being felt within you. You are an aspect of the same light." That's what he says. That's amazing. The
Yeah.
power in that statement alone is immense when you think about it.
Yeah.
He says, "Why we tell you this is simply for the notion and understanding that you are capable of leveraging that power as you move about this realm." So again, just like we tap into, we see all these spirit animals around, all these animals, and each animal has this different aspect that we can use to help us. You have well, like the hawk, the higher perspective. Cardinals, maybe messages from beyond. You can leverage the cardinal to get messages from beyond, like the hawk's higher perspective. He's saying do that with the power of a lightning bolt within you, and feel that energy start to increase.
I
um
know, but it might kill my phone. All right. I've told you before, I've zapped gas pumps where I put my card in where the whole machine has had to reboot
Yeah.
because the zap was so like. So I always make sure I touch my door now
Oh, that,
before I touch the gas pump because I've zapped the machine a couple times where it's had to reboot.
oh, I do that. Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. We might have to talk about that.
I mean, some people get shocky. I get very shocky to where like it hurts.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
yeah, be
Oh,
knocking my phone out.
I want to hear about this.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. He says that light is so beautiful to see and yet so powerful in force, and that also lies within you. Should you so call upon the lightning bolt in all of its glory, wisdom, and divine influence, you will find your own lightning bolt within you to allow your energy to affect many on a radiating level in all of its divine beauty, glory, and infinite wisdom, power, light. We are grateful.
Thor!
No, right? I mean,
But I just like, as you were talking, my whole insides just lit up and all I could think of was Thor.
oh crap, Brooke, that's crazy. That's real.
We'll have to read more on Thor. I
Yeah.
think there's some deep stuff going on with that one, but
Well,
yeah.
clearly that power is something that we can tap into. So, um,
So do I call on Thor
I don't know.
or
I'm
just
just
the
gonna,
lightning bolt?
yeah, I don't know.
I think they'll know what I mean either way.
Well, and here's another thing. How do we call upon these energies? That's a good thing. All right, so really, it's easy. You simply call to it. You envision it. Okay, the triangle, guys, always thought, speech, thought, emotion, speech, action. What are how can you connect that triangle to give you what you're looking for? So, if you want the energy of the lightning bolt to be within you, start to envision that lightning bolt within you, radiating, building, shooting across your entire body. And as you see that lightning bolt within you, start to feel the love that is incorporated in it, in that light. I mean, that visualization in and of itself is a powerful one. And if you keep doing it and you believe in that power, which is that, oh my gosh, you're going to leverage that power.
Yeah.
Same with the
And
hawk.
if you've never experienced, because if you're watching this podcast and you've never experienced just simply feeling energy move through your body, there are actually a lot of great meditations out there that allow you to feel this.
Mm,
I have one that I liked where you picture a ring over top of you and like you slide over your feet. It's like a magnet and like you envision. So or you can even simply, the meditations definitely help, or you can simply start with your feet and call the energy to move up to your knee,
yeah.
and you learn to feel that.
Yep.
And, you know, like you have it at your knees and you call it up to your hips. So if you haven't started anywhere yet, start with that. Like start with playing with even starting to feel what the energy feels like.
Yep.
And then you run up your leg and then call it to your heart. You'll feel that energy go to your heart.
Mhm.
But it's really cool. I think it's just a big step that to even learn to feel it move in your body. You know, it's
Absolutely.
those butterflies that you feel, you know, it's those, but it's like once you play with energy, kind of start to understand it a little more.
Yep.
But
Yep.
there's lots of meditations out there for that.
Totally.
Hmm.
So Anubis came in next, and he just talked about futuristic events will be shed upon this world realm and viewed upon with a density that is unnecessary. And he says, we inform you of this simply for notification. And then he talks about what we were talking about earlier, how their people have different mindsets. And he was saying, what he was saying though is that people have different mindsets. So let's just take, I mean, you could use like government, Republicans, Democrats, whatever. You can use them. You can use hockey teams, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins. People that argue about this are both coming from a sense of love. They love what it is that they're talking about. But what we are telling you, Brooke and I, is that you don't need to argue it. When you recognize that, hey, this person just loves what they're talking about and that's how they feel, that's okay. You guys are, and that was Anubis's message that it's okay to simply know that you are coming from two different spaces, but basically ultimately from the same space of the heart. You're approaching it with a different um opinion, but it is ultimately from the heart of love. You love what it is, whatever it is you're arguing about or fighting about, and you and that is what we should recognize within each other. And if you can do that without arguing about it and just simply accepting the fact that hey, you love it, and more peace to you. And
One of the loudest communications I ever got, and one of the like with the most attitude behind it, was when I got, like I told you this before, I was mowing the grass and I got, there's no such thing as like the voice. It wasn't an audible voice. It was, just one I could feel, but it was like, there is no such thing as controversy. And it was loud and forceful with attitude. I was just like, okay. Like, I wasn't even sure where they were going with that yet. I was like, okay, there's no such thing as controversy. And then it more calmly said, there's only truths.
Mhm.
There's only a personal truth. So that's why I said when you're arguing with somebody, you're only arguing your personal truth with their personal truth. That's where their personal truth is.
Yes.
So there is no, it's only controversy if that's what you call it or make it. But when you're talking to anybody, you're only hearing from them in their truth where they stand at this moment. It doesn't mean they'll never be anywhere else. And maybe they'll never be at the truth you're at, but they're at their truth. And that's it. It's just different truths. It's
Yep.
not controversy.
Exactly. And that literally is what Anubis was saying. That you
Mhm.
just summed up his entire page of
That was the
information.
loudest message I've ever heard in my head
Yep.
with the attitude that was behind it. Like I never heard something yelled to me like that,
Hmm. And it's just
so.
up for us, just up to us now to live that way.
Mhm.
We have to make that choice to okay, not it's not controversy. It's not, it's okay for us to have differences of opinion or perspective and still be loving. Like that's true.
Yeah,
It doesn't make us silly or it doesn't make the next person silly or stupid or you silly or stupid. It just means we're different and we're both coming from love. And you are so right with the personal truth. I love that. That's
just truths.
Now, the next one that they brought up was judgment. And this was brought up so you can see how they are talking to us here in this channeling. Like the different, God brings in and then all these ascendant masters come in with their topics. Toth is the next one. And I'm not sure I ever channeled Toth. Um, but he talks about judgments. And what he says, he uses the analogy of an ant farm or an ant colony. And what he says there is that all ants are attempting to feed the colony or the light source from above. The ant is your soul. So all is your soul and your human self. So he says, the truth is that you are all one in spirit. You are all one in energetic vibration. Focus in mind is causing great distance and separation between you and physical beings. But what we tell you at souls are no different. They are all working in accordance with the light. Like an ant farm, if you will, all are attempting to feed the light source above. All the ants are trying to build the colony. This we
Mhm.
tell you is true, is what he says. So what where he goes from there is he says, like in all ant farms, you have an ant or two or three that may stray and get lost. Maybe they're going to look for more food and they get lost along the way. And then what he says is that these ants are not, we don't look upon them with judgment because when they get lost, they tend to get more low vibrational. And he says, we don't judge them. We simply understand. What he also says is simply because these ants went in a different way than the colony is still rising. The food source is still being met. The light is still being brought and the colony is still being built. And that's what he's saying. We don't judge them. They're lost. It is our love that will help bring them back.
Mhm.
Um, There are moments and times when these animals, insects are not moving in the direction in which we would like them to, but this is no judgment upon them, my children. And we tell you, we ask this of you now to understand that the colony is rising as it should, as it will, as it may, and in time it will rise together. But be at peace in this moment and bring more of this peace to this realm. It is very helpful. And for that, we are grateful. Toth speaking. Yeah. So it's just amazing. Like that analogy that I would have never have thought, but that's what he used yesterday. And
Yeah.
actually that sums it up because from there was a lot of more my human spirit family that crossed over, my grandmom, my grandpop, and a couple aunt and uncles that came through who were talking about the shift that's occurring on this realm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just kind of validating it all and putting it all together for you.
Yeah, basically. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. But no, that the ant analogy really is, because I know some people just go, "Oh, ants." If you ever watch like National Geographic on ants, it is phenomenal the
Yeah.
stuff they do. Like the
Yep.
way they build rafts, the way they build like, the body rafts. Like
Mhm.
how do they, obviously it's like this collective consciousness
Yep.
that there's no way they know. It's insane. If you ever watch how the intelligence of ants, it's insane.
Yep.
But it
Exactly.
it is actually a great analogy know when you know about ants.
Exactly. And
It's
how
a great
powerful they are,
analogy.
right? And how strong they are, both
Yeah,
physically and like in their purpose.
yeah,
Like that's another thing that you can get from that analogy. And yeah, so a lot of power there.
yeah.
All right. But I gotta tell you guys, honestly, I'm really not doing well. My head is really pounding right now and I don't have a lot. So I don't want to channel. Plus I just, we read about 11 pages worth of channeling to you. So I'm not going to channel today if you don't mind, Brooke.
No, that's fine. I think maybe they were saving you from today by doing that for you yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I think they
definitely.
were saving you from that. But
That's
yeah,
a
I
great
mean
point. That's a
yeah,
great point.
that is just the bottom line right now. Is like I said, just keep holding on, keep being patient with your loved ones, keep being patient with yourself, and just be as open in the heart as you possibly can,
Yeah.
and really listen to your heart. That song has just been playing over and over again in my head.
Mhm.
Listen to your heart
Oh, yeah.
when he's calling for you. Yeah, so keep listening to your heart. Just be open and be patient with so many people right now. I feel like it is good that different energies, I feel like, are affecting different people. So I feel like we're getting breaks that it's not everybody all at once, but it's like half is going in this wave, so the other half is okay to support them, and then like another half is going in that wave. But just keep on being open, keep on looking within yourself to see what it is that might need healing in you. I mean, I'm digging every day. I'm constantly digging to make sure I've got to the bottom of all of it.
Mhm.
Just keep digging, just keep shedding, just keep healing, and just be kind to yourself and other people right now.
Amen.
And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Hang in there.
Definitely.
It's a ride, it's a journey.
It is marathon. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you, Brooke, and thank you
Thank
all. Sorry.
thank you. No,
Mhm.
feel better.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And thank you guys all for listening. We love you all very much. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yep. See ya.
Later.